You haven't seen me in 7 years, but it's your old buddy. You want to come back to Florida and work?
I was like, right, we're moving to Florida. You okay now?
But we were animals when we were kids.
We were doing harder drugs at a younger age than most people ever did.
You a podcaster, brother?
Folks, welcome to episode 2 of the Trade Up Podcast. I'm your host, who was not a part of episode 1, Matt, with my buddy here, Andy.
We're going to interview business owners, but me and Matt, we're going to be probably the bulk of the podcast, just me and him bullshitting, sipping tequila, talking about where we came from and what's going on. So,
Fun shit with work.
what's going on?
Hanging. What's going on with you?
Making a podcast?
Where do you want to start? First time I met you or the last time I saw you?
Let's talk about where we met, what it was like, how we got hooked up here in Florida.
Okay, the first time we met, we were actual children
Mm-hmm.
in AAU basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was 7, which would have made you 5.
Do you remember the name of the team?
I always want to say the Vipers, but it's not the Vipers.
It was the Free Ballers.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
I don't know if that was the name of the team, but I remember being in the huddle going, 1, 2, 3, Free Ballers.
Yeah, a bunch of 5-year-old kids yelling, free ballies on 3.
Yeah, we were off to a good start.
But then I didn't see it till probably high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we became buds.
Mm-hmm. What kind of kids were we in high school? Because I talked to Wally about this on the first podcast, and he started off with saying, I was 13, started smoking weed, drinking, just like everybody else, and I was like...
It's not like everybody
I was like, let me
else.
stop you there, brother, because now that I'm an adult and I meet people, I realize there's a lot of people that haven't been in a fight.
That was the one.
There's a
You
lot of
told
people-
me that, and I was like, that's fucking nuts.
What, that people haven't been in
That
fights?
there's like 50-year-old men who have never even been around a fight.
Very common. Very common.
Not around our way, brother.
Right.
I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the Northeast. I don't think like our area was hard, but like there were plenty of kids who would punch you in
You
the
think
mouth.
Rofo wasn't hard?
Do you ever go to the Sev, bro? You get fucking socked over there. No, I don't know. It wasn't like we lived in the hood, though. Like, there were nice neighborhoods, good
sure
kids.
not.
Everybody's just taking
I lived on a
drugs.
cul-de-sac.
You sure did.
I lived on a cul-de-sac.
I lived in a row home, hard nut pussy.
I was hard as nails. I was harder than you. So what do you think it was that... Well, no, even if you looked at kids in our high school.
There were tons of kids who weren't like us, dude.
Right. So what was it about us?
I don't know. But it was like, it's definitely problematic. Like, there are people we talk to all the time about all the friends we have that are dead. They don't know that. It's not like a normal part of life.
Right.
So I don't know what it was. It was all of us, though. I wouldn't say we were definitely bad kids, but we weren't like disrespectful little fucks. At least I don't feel like I was.
Well, that's what I always say. Like, my parents raised me right.
Yeah.
I just didn't listen, and none of that shit sunk in when I was a kid. So, like, I was an embarrassment to my parents as a child and a teenager. But now that I'm an adult and I finally got through all that shit and grew up, the way they raised me is who I am.
Even then, I was a little fuck. Like, I would steal from my job and shit like that. But, like, I wasn't, like... I knew how I could, like, respect elders and shit like that. So I don't feel like we were just, like, altogether lost causes. I just feel like we were fucking punks.
Yeah.
Like, just punks.
Yeah.
Running around doing whatever the fuck we wanted to. Which is chaos.
Okay, well, I would say today we're pretty respectable adults,
Sure.
right? You would agree?
Yeah, definitely.
For the most part.
Yeah, definitely.
But we were animals when we were kids. So let's talk about when we were kids. Like, what type of shit were we doing? What type of people were we hanging out with?
We were doing harder drugs at a younger age than most people ever do, which is alarming.
Dude, when I was in 9th grade, I drove and 2 girls to Six Flags. And I was in 9th grade. How old are you in 9th grade?
I mean, you're 18 when you graduate, so you're 14 or 15?
14 years old. I did Oxycontin in the line to Six Flags. He handed me the pill. I didn't know what it was. He's just like, take it. So I took it. The line of Six Flags was so long that before I got out of the line at Six Flags, I just remember my eyes shut, and I was like looking at the ground with my eyes shut, and I was swaying back and forth. And grabbed me by the back of my shirt. He's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I was like...
Overdosing on prescription medicine, you fuck.
Dude, and the only thing I remember about that day is somehow I got separated from everybody. I fell asleep on a picnic bench, and I just remember them shaking me, waking me up, and I got in the car and drove home. Don't remember
We were
anything.
in 10th grade, and someone handed me and 2 other buddies a perk on the way into school to get on the bus to go to the aquarium. I got sick before we got on the bus, so I went home. They went to the aquarium, and apparently, fucking fell asleep inside of a gigantic shark's mouth. And the teacher woke him up. He was like, "What are you doing?" She was like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "I fell asleep." She was like, "In the aquarium?" He was like, "I guess." It's an alarming thing to think about as a 32-year-old with 2 kids that like your young teenage kids will eat pills.
Yeah, well, dude, I have friends now that have 14-year-old kids, and I look at their kids like...
Shouldn't you be high off your ass right now?
I don't understand it. It makes me kind of bug out about the way we are when I see my friends' kids that are 14 and they're like really good, polite kids.
It's definitely different now though, because like the Oxycontin thing was like the start of the opiate pandemic. Or is that a pandemic? Epidemic? Epidemic.
No,
epidemic.
Yeah.
Opioid epidemic. Caught it. But like nobody knew that you could destroy your whole life by taking one pill one time. Like that wasn't a thing I was taught. I was literally like all the way up to that point taught if you smoke pot, you're gonna ruin your life. Mm-hmm. Far from the fucking truth. They should have been telling us if a pharmacy makes it, don't fucking take it. Right. But we were out there like,
dude. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what OxyContin was. I was doing Oxy.
It was brand new.
I was doing Oxy 80s as a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid.
You're lucky you didn't die.
And I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, high threshold. I took a perk 10 and threw up all over the
No,
lobby.
dude, my tolerance got huge. We used to shave down 80s and then we'd fucking split them. Snorting an Oxy 40 as a 14-year-old.
Dude.
It's insane. You know, and I didn't know what I was doing was heroin. Like, if I knew heroin was bad, you just hear that. You know that heroin's bad.
Yeah. Keith Richards did it.
And then I remember one time my dad saw, such a fucking dork. I was texting this girl about drugs. She's like, which one was your favorite? And I was like, OxyContin's my favorite. and dude, I was like,
your dad saw it. Oxycontin's my favorite. He was probably like, God damn it, he's addicted to drugs and he's a dumbass.
Dude, but I remember he had this long talk with me. He's like, what is... I was like, I don't know what that is. But I was 15.
Yeah, that's the text you send when you're 15. You're lucky there wasn't fucking Instagram then. You'd been snorting oxys on Instagram live.
Yeah, I never had a chance, dude.
That's the thing about everybody fucking dying is nobody had a chance. Anybody who got out's lucky as shit. Think about it. Like everybody who made it far enough to start shooting heroin, how many of them are still alive?
Why do you? When do you feel like you grew up and became a respectable man? Because let's back up. up. The drugs for me got really bad. For you, not so much. You were still an asshole and a punk kid, but you didn't go.
Yeah,
down
like by the time I was 21, I was done like taking, Xannies and shit like that. I would do coke out and about, but. Yeah, it just didn't grip me like it gripped everybody around.
You never had like the
right.
addict part where you like took it like I did.
Right, like even when I was doing too much coke, it was still more like habit than like I craved coke. Mm-hmm. Like if we were going out, I'd be like, "You want to get a bag?" Mm-hmm. Before we go out, but it wouldn't be like, "I gotta get a bag." You know what I mean? Like it was never like addiction shit. It was just habit shit. Mm-hmm. But all that shit was behind me by the time I was probably 20 or 21, like taking pills and shit.
Did you make a decision, or you just?
No, it just stopped happening. Like it feels like by the time like we could just go to the bar and get fucked up legally without my mom screaming at me. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to sneak a pill. Like I can just go drink with my butts, you know? Mm-hmm. But like we couldn't just have a couple beers on my front porch when we were fucking 14.
Right.
So I feel like it was just like, like I said, I was never hooked on any of it. So it was like rather just have a couple beers and call it a day.
Right.
Or 2,000 shots of Jameson.
I'm hesitant to say this because I know we'll have friends that probably will end up watching this. But I feel like most of the people that we grew up with and were hanging with, a lot of them didn't grow up to be like respectable adults that have families, that have like worthwhile missions in life. Some did. For sure, some did.
Yeah, there's a ton of people who I think got it together, but I understand what you're saying. There's
some
people where you're like, why is your head still not on straight?
Yeah, my question for you is like, we all grew up the same way. We're all doing the same shit. Why did some of us go on to be like respectable adults with like a direction and a family and take care of their responsibilities, and some of us just are lost grown men?
I don't think there's a straight answer. But, like, I imagine a lot of it comes from the fact that, like, I do have good parents who love me very much and always wanted what was best for me. I was just fucking off. I don't know that everybody's got that in their life. Like, my dad's a good man. Mm-hmm. We didn't have always, like, the most, like, contact, I guess. But I always knew that, like, that's what a good man is. Like, you get up, you go to work, you work hard. He always tried to do as much as he could for us. I think that's a part of it. Like, if you have people in your life who show you the way you should be as an adult, like my grandparents, my great aunts and uncles. I think I just knew what, like, a responsible adult looked like. And, like, I started to sense that I was fucking my life up when I was, like, 24 or 25. So like I called a guy to talk about straightening my credit out and like what I needed to do to eventually be able to buy a house. I was actually probably 25 because I met Bridget when I was 27. And by then, like, my credit was straight. I was working towards buying a house. Like, I was ready to I also wanted to start to consider, like, starting life. Like, finding a wife, whatever. And I didn't want to be, like, it's hard to find a wife if you're a fucking loser. At least a good one, I think.
And you knew that.
Yeah.
You had that thought.
Yeah, like, I didn't think I would find a good wife if I was doing coke and manning on 4 nights a week.
Very insightful. Not a lot of people pick that up. But
I feel like it was like most of my buds that I was around them were doing it too. Like it was like we were growing out of the fucking wonder years. Mm-hmm. I got fucking rocket shot out of it when we got pregnant that first year, but I was ready for it. Like it wasn't like I think if we had gotten pregnant a year before, I would have been like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" Mm-hmm. But I did a little bit of groundwork, and like she told me she was pregnant, I had a little flutter in my chest, but I was like, "Whatever." Mm-hmm. Guess we're having a baby.
So in the period where you're like, all right, let me straighten my credit out. Let me try to get my shit together so I can find a good girl and start my life. Mm-hmm. Are you still going out and drinking every weekend? Of course. So what's different? Just you're trying to do the things. You're trying to sort out your credit. You're trying to.
No, I'm like actively working on it. Like I did get a big raise at work. I got like a $7 an hour raise at work, somewhere in that window. Mm-hmm. And I had the payroll lady give my entire raise to paying my student loans and some bad debt that I have. So like my paycheck stayed the same, but my shit was getting straightened out. Mm-hmm. So like if it was entirely up to me, I don't know if it would have happened the way it did, as fast as it did. But in like 9 months' time, I paid off the remainder of my $6,000 that I had from going to Monaco and whatever the other debt was. And then all of a sudden, like one day, I just had a paycheck.
Dean's List, Monaco, 2 semesters straight.
What do you want, fucking medal, dude?
Dean's List. Did you hear me?
Okay, I was a starting shortstop for Monaco. Very cool, dude. I started shortstop at my community college. Yes, I think I just doing that changed everything though. Like I think if I had just gotten that first paycheck with the raise in it, I would have kept fucking off.
All right, you just made me think of something. Mm-hmm. I got a question for you. You had a lot of fun as a young man, so did I. Mm-hmm. Probably too much fun. Mm-hmm.
A lifetime's worth of fun.
Yeah, for sure. You realized around, when did you decide you want to get your credit straightened out?
I was probably 23 when I first made the phone call.
Okay, so you decided to try to start going up at 23. You had a lot of fun from 13 to 23. That's 10 years of some fucking good times.
Yeah. Fair.
Crazy little childhood life we had.
Fair assessment.
Would you recommend it to a young guy to have that much fun, kind of be a fuck up for a while, and then get your shit straight? Or if you were giving somebody advice, you would stray them away from all that?
I don't think you need to start as young. But yeah, I do think everybody's got to have like their wild years, I guess. Whether it's fucking...
But everybody doesn't.
Yeah. That's true.
Most
but like,
people
that
don't.
guy ends up going into his garage by himself and drinking. It's very sad. Like, hating his family. Like, there's something in most people that it's like, I got to go fucking try stuff. Like, see things, do things. Mm-hmm. I think most people. And like, like my mom, she got pregnant with my oldest brother when she was like 19 or 20. Mm-hmm. She hated my dad in like 4 years. She had 3 kids in 6 years. And she was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, what happened?
And now she lives in Colorado. She hikes all over the like, that's what I think that she lacked, was like a little bit of young and free shit.
Yeah.
Now, don't be 13 taking fucking perks with your friends, kids.
No, but I agree. I think I agree. Like, if you had a sheltered life, you were a kid, then you get married, then you have a family. The whole time you're wondering, like, what the fuck? I was a kid and now I'm this. You missed it. There's
a healthy level of it though. Like I had friends whose parents were cool and like would let them do shit. Like my mom was a nut. She would flip the fuck out if she found out we drank when I was like 17 at a party. I'm like, we're 17 at a party. So like then you have to hide everything and be a sneaky little fuck.
Well, that's my situation.
Right, same thing. I think that's what turns kids into real monsters. They're afraid to fucking let anything out in front of their parents. Mm-hmm. And when they get a fucking crack, just a little something.
Mm-hmm. I would leave my house for weeks at a time.
I'm stealing fucking work trucks from your old man.
Yeah,
dude.
I would just, I was bad. But their mom used to let us have parties there, drink there.
I was over there a couple times.
And they kind of had it together. Like mom knew what was going on. They were honest with mom, had a good relationship with mom, didn't have to hide anything from mom. And they didn't go off the deep end.
That was a different thing too, though. Like their parents were like, you know, it's fine if you have a couple drinks, just don't be fucking ruining your lives. Same shit. Like the weed is the devil, alcohol is the devil. I don't think like that's the thing you harp on a 14-year-old kid about, because then like there's nothing that they can do. So if those two things are the devil, then I guess everything's a fucking devil, and those two things are kind of fun. You try one of them Zans. You got a Zan for you, boy? I don't know. I think there's that. I think some people just can't shake it though. Like we have friends who have kids and families, and I know they still, you know, drugs, fuck off, the whole nine.
Well, you're a father. Maeve's 17. She gets an underage drinking at a party. Which, you remember being 17?
It'll happen.
How do you handle that with Maeve?
Fine. Like, fine. If you weren't...
What's the conversation is what I want to know. With Maeve. You pick her up. She's with the cops. You got to take her home. Cops called you. Hey, you got to come get your girl. We're giving her an underage
This
drinking.
is impossible to know. Because there's a real chance I just hit the fucking ceiling like your dad and mine would. But I truthfully, I think I would be like, that. To me, that is what it is. Like, if I get there and it's fucking nasty and kids are puking and somebody's fucking hurt or on drugs or whatever, you're hanging with the wrong fucking people. You're killing me here, kid. If it's a party and the shitty neighbor called the cops and everything's under control, you're 17. That's when I was doing it too. Get in the fucking car. Let's go home. If you're in a car with somebody who is drinking, I'm either hitting kids or hitting their fathers. That's a rule that you just don't break. I don't think that I'll be too hard on either of them, because I don't think that helps.
It's hard though, man, because some of the things you just said you were doing.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I look back with the insight that those are the dumbest.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like my mom was like, "Have fun tonight. Please stay in one place and don't get in the car." But
would you have?
No.
Right.
But I was a motherfucker. My children are sweet.
But isn't that what they say? Isn't that what they say happens? I was a motherfucker too. I was so hard for my parents. I missed Christmas a couple times, where I ran away. And didn't...
I want to say who you were with, but back to the names.
Yeah, but like, so I would leave for a month. They wouldn't see me for a month. I was like 16. Didn't come home for Christmas. So what do I have coming to me as far as children?
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, it might.
No, I think you shape your life, you learn from your shit, you try your best based off of what you know, and your kids are a product of that. Like I'm sure that my dad and my mom were certain they were doing what was best for me.
Right. So on some level, yeah, because I think my mom and dad did a great job.
Yeah. I'm not mad at either.
I don't think I was a fuck up for anything they did. I think they did a great job. And now that I cleaned up my life, all the principles they put in me.
Well, you're a prime example of some kids are just fucking dickheads.
Right. No matter what you do.
Yeah.
So what do you do with them?
Dude, you just try your best. I don't know.
You kill them and put them in the backyard.
What's that?
You kill them and put them in the backyard.
You can't kill them, but you can kill their friends for sure. You can get away with killing a couple kids, dude.
Dude, my dad would have killed if he could.
Your dad tried to kill somebody with an empty wine bottle one time.
That was Bjorn. He was a little upset.
Fair.
My dad might watch this. I don't want to make him look bad.
Every now and then you fucking throw a wine bottle.
All right, well, let's tell that story. I'm sitting in my basement, and I'm not the type of kid to have friends over because everybody was scared of my dad. So I didn't do shit at my house. And it was me and like 6 of us in the basement.
I'm listening.
And my dad comes home at like 10 p.m. And he comes down the base. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" We got red Solo cups. Everybody has red Solo cups. I think we're like 18 at this point. We're just drinking some wine, watching UFC. Oh, cool. Nothing. Goes upstairs. Probably 5 seconds after he shuts the basement door, he comes running down the steps. I think he realized in his head, like, whose fucking wine are they drinking? He goes behind the bar. He opens the trash can. Dude, we were drinking, like, super rare
$400 bottles of wine.
Like, rare bottles from Napa Valley that, like, some friends shipped him. They were like important. They were in a box like separate from the bar, like in a closet, in a box. And he starts realizing we dicked like 4 of these really expensive bottles of wine. And he's like, "You motherfuckers." And he's pulling them out of the trash can and throwing them across the basement. And I'm like, run, everybody run. And we ran away from my dad.
All right.
I don't think I went home for a few days after.
Here's the thing. If you sat your dad in this chair when you were 5 and was like, you come home, Andy's 17 now. Him and his buddies drank all your wine. There's no way your dad would have sat in his chair and been like, I'd go downstairs and I'd fucking throw the bottles at him. Right? So, like, you're asking me questions. I can give you what I think I would do sitting here in this chair, but realistically, I'm probably going to fucking snap.
Yeah.
But, like, you got to try to break that shit. I don't snap often anymore.
Well, you got girls, too, so it's a little different. Girls will
I
make,
say that to Bridget.
girls will
She
make you
thinks I'm full of
sensitive.
shit, but I do think if they were
What?
boys, I would be fucking
For
relentless.
sure. For sure. You can't treat a girl the same way you
I don't
treat
like
a boy.
other people's sons being little shits, like knocking the girls over on the playground. I'll like say something. I can't help it. But yo, why don't you go play over there? You little fucking animal. But like, I don't know. I told her when we found out we were pregnant with Maeve, I was like, I really hope it's a girl. She's like, no, you're just saying that.
Well, it's kind of
you don't understand.
It's kind of crazy you don't want boys.
I know. I've heard it a million times.
Because I would want a boy.
Yeah.
For like the sports, you're fucking coaching them, go to the sports games.
Your son will move 1,000 miles away from you to marry a model. Your daughter will move 1,000 miles back to you to take care of you. That's what I've always said. And then your son will be like, Dad, you dying? Your dad will be like, of course he's dying, asshole. You don't know? You're fucking over there with your model wife and kids.
I don't know. I think my sister's colder than I am. I think I'm more of an asset to the
No, I
family
think
than my
your sister just can't stand you. At least she has a dog. You don't even have a fucking dog.
I'm taking care of a fucking dog.
Monster.
It's all about simplicity, brother.
I guess. It's awful fucking quiet. You gotta get some fucking background noise going. Let's talk about the last time we saw each other. Before, 7 years later? 8 years later?
What was that?
No, the last time we attempted to see each other. You were on an internship in Atlantic City.
Oh, this is a good one.
This is
This
a
is
very
a good
good
one. This is a good one.
So before that, it was that same summer. We did a concert together.
Uh-huh. I'll set the scene.
You lost the drugs.
I'll set the scene.
I'm not sure I've given up on that.
So
Yeah.
I'm in Atlantic City for an internship. I lived in the hotel for the summer. It was a cool summer. Matt tells me he's coming to Atlantic City with some buddies. So I'm with some friends from the internship. We were at a bar. We're hanging. Matt tells me he's going to Stilettos, the strip club. I'd never been there.
Shout out to it.
Stilettos in Atlantic City.
That's a dark, dark place, dude.
You tell me you're there. You're like, yeah, we're here. Come through. So I left my friends. I get one of the boardwalk trolley things to take
You mean
me
the
up there.
guys who jog who ride the bikes with you on the back?
Yeah, exactly. And I get to Stilettos. I go in there. I'm like, he's not here. I walk around the whole place. It's not a big place. I walk around the whole place. I don't see you. I'm calling you nonstop. Your phone's going straight to voicemail. You didn't tell me who you were with, so I didn't know who else to call. So, not going to lie, I hung out in Stilettos by myself for a little bit. Had a good time.
It's fun to be had in there.
And we never talked again.
Uh-uh.
We never got together. We didn't find out what happened to both of us that night until 10 years later.
Yeah. So
what
happened
so
to me,
why weren't you at Stilettos?
I was at Stilettos.
Uh-huh.
What happened was we went to Stilettos. It was me and 3 of my buddies, and I was escorted to the back for a private dance with my phone and my wallet on the table with my friends.
Oh, outside.
Out in like the main room.
You left your wallet on the table at the
that
strip
part
club?
was an egregious mistake. That was an accident. But what happens is you go in there, hit an ATM, they take your actual cash and give you Stilettos bucks. Because in New Jersey, you can't be a nude strip club if you're dealing with real cash. So you buy fucking Monopoly money, whatever. So I had Stilettos bucks with me, and my wallet and phone were sitting
I
there.
don't need my real wallet. I got
all this goddamn money I got. So I actually think I probably left it on like the seat, because what happened was while I was getting a private dance, they bounced my 3 buddies, and within a matter of like 10 or 15 minutes, I went out and they were gone, and I went out front and they were not out front of.
Do you know why they got bounced?
No, I think they bounced them with the intention of burning me. Because I took out $300 at the ATM, I only got $100 in Stilettos bucks. I think the intention was to get me. I was marked. I was a marked man. So they bounced them. They left because they didn't know where I was at. They thought I got bounced too. So they left and went back to the hotel. I went over to the table. They were gone. Security came and was like, you and your buddies are out of here. I was like, all right. I was like, and I didn't even realize I didn't have my shit. So I get outside and I pat my pockets. I have nothing in my pockets. and I'm in a dark place in Atlantic City. Like, it's not like a nice place to be.
We'll get to that later.
Right. So I jog to the hotel because I'm afraid, but like I'm not going to get robbed at this point. Somebody's just going to beat me up. I don't have anything in my pockets. So I jog to the hotel, go up to the room. They're in there. Start calling my phone. Immediately, my phone was jailbroken. Like it had a passcode on it, but it had been shut off, and my voicemail was erased from it. So whoever got it jailbroke my iPhone immediately, and then I logged into my bank on Maddie's phone, and there was an attempt made on my account on my debit card. So I froze my debit card. So they stole my wallet, and I got robbed by strippers for my wallet and so $200 and a cell phone. But that's why you couldn't reach me.
So that all happened before I got the stilettos. It must have.
Yeah, so, we were at Stilettos when I hit you up and was like, we're here. We weren't there long.
Right. Okay.
Like I said, I was a marked man. They were like, get him the fuck out.
And like I said, I got there. I looked around for you. You weren't there. I'm like, oh, I'm at the strip club by myself. I might as well hang out for a while. I spent all my money.
The best of us, so I don't go to those places no more.
To be fair, I was like 20, 21. I guess I was 21. I had to be 21. I was a young kid. I had no money. I was an intern.
It was $88.
I didn't have much. Yeah, I probably spent $90 and that was it for me. But I spent all my money there. And my internship was at Harrah's, which if you know the layout of Atlantic City, Stilettos is on the beach, on the boardwalk. Harrah's is all the way on the other side. It's not anywhere near the ocean. I forget what they call it, Bayside or whatever. Just far away. Probably like a 15-minute drive. And you mentioned earlier that Stilettos is not in the best place of Atlantic City.
No, it's like a block off of the boardwalk, but like it's like the lights end where the boardwalk
dude,
goes.
I had to walk across that. So
why don't you just walk up the board? Oh, you can't. It's the ocean side.
And I had no money. I had no money to pay a taxi or nothing.
Fresh white kicks on,
dude, I fucking tried walking, which is like at 2 a.m. in Atlantic City. It's a crazy task to try to walk from Stilettos all the way through the city to the other side of the city.
Yeah, like you want to be on the water on either side of Atlantic City, or you're in the fucking trenches.
So I had to walk through the trenches, which is like a fucking hour and a half walk. I don't know what I was thinking.
You were begging to get to that.
And I had work at like 6 a.m. So anyway, I'm making this walk, and then all of a sudden I hear all these fucking footsteps, and I turn around.
There's no way that's one guy.
There was like the worst part is they were fucking teenagers. There was girls in the pack, but I'm not exaggerating. It was like 14. And they're fucking running. And dude, I went to take off sprinting. I took like 4 steps and fucking fell.
Running faster than your feet can keep up with, dude. You just ate it and got stomped by fucking teenagers.
Dude, I just covered.
Dude, that's my fucking nightmares, getting beat up by fucking 13-year-olds.
There was so many of them. I didn't even try to fight. I fucking fell, and I like covered up like this on the sidewalk, dude. And they were just fucking stomping me. I didn't really get that hurt, and I don't know.
Dude, coming home with a shiner, and my wife being like, "What happened to you?" I'd be like, "The middle schoolers had their way." Oh, what
cops came though. The cops saved me. It wasn't that long either. Like I was covered up for a little bit there, and then I guess someone called the cops. And the cops came, and dude, I stood up, and I was fine. I can remember everything. I'm like, yeah, I was just trying to walk to Harrah's, like an internship. They looked both ways, like, you were trying to walk all the way there? Because you could see it. It's real big in the sky.
It's the fucking only red sign in the sky. Hey, dude, you're so deep. Why don't you let us drive you so the kindergartners don't get you next?
So this was the embarrassing part. I had a fat lip. I had like some blood on me. My shirt was all ripped. They stole my shoes. I didn't have my wallet. I didn't have my phone. The cops had to bring me to the casino. Dude, I know everybody that works in the casino at this point. Like,
it's your job.
The front desk.
You went back to work, beat up with those shoes.
The different bartenders, all that. It's like 3 a.m, but casinos are up all night.
Jesus, Andy.
So, dude, I got escorted by the police all the way to the front desk. I had no wallet, no room key, so I had to talk to people. I had this big fat lip, no shoes, a ripped shirt. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then they gave me my room key. I showed up to work at 6 a.m. the next day. They're like, dude, you
might as well. Why don't you get back up?
You could take the day.
Where are your fucking shoes, man? Why don't you go lay down for a while?
You know what I did with that day off?
Probably went back to Stilettos and spent the $14 you left in your drawer.
Took the train to Philly and got high with, can't say names, no names.
As God intended.
But anyway, clearly by all these stories, we were fuck ups.
There's a lot of them.
There's so many of them.
You telling me that story reminded me of stories that I'm going to save for episodes to come.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
But I feel like we can't just tell the fucking shitty stories.
Of course not.
Without showing that, we did.
We cleaned our fucking act.
There's a happy ending.
Yeah.
We got better.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it gives guys like me and you some character when it comes to like just life as an adult and business and connecting with people.
Yeah, for sure. Like you could tell the difference between somebody who's like a little rough around the edges, but in like nice ways. Like they're uniquely themselves. They've obviously been through some shit. Things don't really sway them. Like it's like they're just how they are. Like first time I met Wally, I thought that about him. I was like, that is just that's a whole ass dude. He figured it all out. Yeah, it puts a little grit on your skin. But like it's the difference between people who just sit quiet in a room or people who can, yell at the fucking top of their lungs and make folks laugh in a room, I guess.
Okay, the last time I seen you was in Atlantic City.
Uh-huh.
That's the last time until.
That was definitely the last time I saw you.
Okay.
No, I didn't see you in Atlantic City. Last time I saw you was the concert that you lost the drugs at. Atlantic City was the last time I was supposed to see you. We never saw each other.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's okay. I'm over it.
I can tell you're not over it.
I can't talk about it without saying the concert you lost the drugs at. I was fucking tired, and you had to pick me ups, and they were gone.
We went to this concert in Philadelphia. The band's called Enter Shikari, and I had the cocaine in my sneaky pocket in my jeans. So
an unforgivable act.
Yeah, so we get in the concert.
You know it wasn't in the sneaky pocket of your jeans. It was in the fucking elastic band of your shorts when we walked
Why
in.
was I wearing basketball shorts? I've heard you say
because it's Enter Shikari, dude. You were bouncing around like a goddamn dipshit.
I would wear basketball shorts to go to concerts? That doesn't sound right. Like Jordans?
Probably worth owning, dude. I don't know what you do.
Well, anyway, we finally got into the concert. We got all situated. We got to our spot. Matt's like, all right, give me the Coke. Give me the Coke.
Gotta go to the bathroom.
I was like, all right, I got you. I was like, dude, I think I lost the Coke. He's like, shut up. No, you didn't.
And I was like, no, you fucking did it, dude. Look again.
Yeah, and then it ended up being a terrible night because you kind of need that.
Yeah, like if that's the intention, you have the crutch, and then the crutch is gone. No crutch, you fall down.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Mm-hmm. It was just a blackout. I don't remember the concert. Who knows what happened?
I'm sorry, dude.
It's okay. I'm not fucking mad at you, dude.
I can tell you're a little mad.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw you. Atlantic City was supposed to be the last time I saw you, and then I heard you were here, South Florida living. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I didn't like try to reach out to you at all.
Well, nobody could. I
for a long time nobody could.
I disappeared off the face of the earth.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have the same phone number. There's no way for anybody to get a hold of me. Mm-hmm. I guess if you hit my parents up, you could maybe, but no, I disappeared. I didn't talk to anybody. And then I created a Facebook. I had been here for probably 4 years because I think I was in my second year of having my own business. And I made a Facebook so that I could make a Facebook for the business. And when I made the Facebook, people from my past started coming up. And
it's crazy, dude.
It had been a long time.
I made a Facebook for the first time in probably 7 years so I could be an admin for the business. I don't know how they find you. It's like, do people look for your fucking name?
No, somehow, no. Facebook connects you. It puts you in people suggested.
Based off your phone numbers and shit?
I don't know. Somehow.
Because I didn't add any
well, you
friends.
still have a Philly phone number for sure. Yeah, because I got hooked up.
My Facebook's on my fucking work phone.
I don't know.
That's the thing. I was like, what?
You know how smart Facebook is?
I have hundreds of friend requests. I'm friends with my mom and my brothers and you and my wife.
Yeah, they know exactly who you are, dude.
I know. Mm-hmm. I like it because when I'm at my house and I'm like, damn, dude, I need some new steak knives. And then I sit down on the couch and I open my phone. They're like, hey, man, you need some new steak knives.
Anyway, I made the Facebook to manage the business. And then me and Marty hooked up through Messenger.
Right.
And I'm talking to Marty a little bit.
I talk about Marty a lot. That's my oldest brother. I'm sweating my fucking ass off. 2 Roundup.
Can you let me speak?
Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, Marty and you linked up on Facebook.
Yeah, I hooked up with Marty on Facebook, and then I ended up coming home for Christmas a little shortly after that. Mm-hmm. And then, did I call you or you called me?
No, Marty told me that he talked to you on Facebook. I was like, yeah, I understand. He moved to change his life or whatever. I was like, if he wants to be left alone, leave him alone. If not, give him my phone number. And then you called me, and after that's when you came up here for Christmas. We had already talked a bunch of times when you came up for Christmas. That's how you ended up in my house, is we made plans to hang.
All right, so when you're me in that situation, mm-hmm. You were a horrible heroin addict. You fled your life up there to come to Florida. Didn't get good in Florida. It got worse in Florida. But then I ended up getting it together.
Mm-hmm.
Started my life, working, started a business, have a completely new life, and like have no friends up there. I don't even think about people up there. It's very weird to start talking to people from way back then because I'm like completely disconnected. They have nothing to do with me. I have memories. But to be honest, most of the people I don't give a fuck about.
And it's almost a decade, too.
Yeah,
so, like, people are not remotely the same,
right,
for the most part.
And I really had no interest in meeting anybody from then, seeing anybody. People would reach out and send me messages, and I would, like, talk to them a little bit, but I didn't give a fuck. I was just being nice. Like, for the most part, I'm never going to talk to most of them again. There's a few people, though, that I was like, yeah, I would want to talk to him. And you were one of them. So I called you when we had talked a little bit, and then I called you when I was up there, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing tomorrow? And you were like, come over. You said it right away. You were like, come over.
Yeah, because it was a COVID Christmas in Pennsylvania. So it was weird. So it was just my brothers, right? I forget who else was there. But it wasn't like a big family Christmas. I was like,
Right.
Marty's coming. You could see Marty, meet my family, whatever.
Yeah.
What did that feel like? Driving to my house, dude.
It was mad weird, dude. But it was normal as soon as I saw you.
Yeah.
It was just like it was weird on the way there. I wasn't sure, like, do I even want to do this? Like, going home's weird when you've been through something like me. Like,
yeah.
When you did all that and you just disconnect from home, going home's mad weird. I haven't been to Philly in 4 years. Since then. I haven't been there since then. My family comes here. It's just weird. It's just weird.
I'd have fucking done it. I'd have fucking freaked
No,
out.
well, dude, what if I didn't? But it was cool. And I like your brother Marty. Mike was there, but you were there. And I'm like, damn, dude, he fucking grew up. He's like a whole adult. He's got 2 kids. He's got this nice wife. He seems responsible. I was like pumped up.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, everybody was still fuck up punk kids.
Yeah, I was piecing it together.
And a lot of them are, but some of them aren't. And
Right.
you weren't. And then did we talk about you moving down here that day?
Didn't you come back?
No.
I thought you came back the next day or something.
Oh, yeah.
You came back to my house the next day.
For, I forget. I did come back.
No, you had the brunch with your dad's friends or whatever the next day and came back after. Oh, no, you came over on Christmas Eve, did Christmas Day at your dad's friends, and came over after brunch. You were like, I don't think they do shit after that, so maybe I'll come by after. And that's when we were hanging out, had a couple drinks, and you even kind of like jokingly were like, you want to move to Florida, dude?
Well, at this time, I knew I was ready for like help in my business. I knew it. And I was like, dude, he's fucking in construction already. He's obviously got his shit together. I'm like, he seems responsible. I'm like, he might be the one. And I kind of was joking because I know that's crazy. Like, hey, you
want to pack this family of 4
You haven't
up?
seen me in 7. You haven't seen me in 7 years, but it's your old buddy. You want to come back to Florida and work? So I brought it up as a joke. I came back to Florida. We started talking about it a little more while I was still in Florida, and then you're like, dude, I think it's getting real. Like Bridget's in.
She made a face when you said it at my house. She was like, I'll move to Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, we're moving to Florida.
I think it's probably still a joke to you if Bridget didn't do that. Like
Yeah,
the
100%.
face, like, yeah, I'm in. If you're in, I'm in.
Yeah, like she said it, and then she was like, do you think he's serious? And it was weird because we couldn't go anywhere or do anything in Pennsylvania at the time. It sucked. Like they would let one person in the grocery store as they let one person out. It wasn't like it was here. Like when I came down here to talk to you about maybe moving here, I was fucking shocked that you could just go to the store. Because it was so weird.
Yeah, dude, COVID didn't change my life at all. Business picked up. We still went everywhere. Like I would wear a little neck gaiter to like if I went to a store and people wanted me to, I'd put it up. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. And then I went to Philly and I realized how fucked up it was.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So like we had our kids stuck in the house. Everything's closed. Can't take them anywhere. Too cold to go outside. You caught us in a seam of like, if I was going to move to Florida, that was the winter to ask me. Because, like, typically we would just go and do shit inside with the kids or go see family and shit. Everybody was weird about things. Everything was closed. Couldn't go to the trampoline park. Couldn't do anything. We were locked in the house.
We've got to be honest about something that happened. Because this fucked my head up a little bit about this whole situation. We're talking. I come back to Florida. We saw each other for Christmas. We're talking about you moving down here. I'm talking to you every day at this point. Like, that's when I decided to change the name of the business. That's when I hired Lexi.
Yeah.
I hired Lexi in the interim of seeing you and then before you got here. I hired Lexi, so we're talking all the time. I'm bouncing new names off you. And then you're like, all right, dude, it's fucking real. I'm going to come visit Florida just to see what the city's like, see what the town's like, see what it'd be like for my family.
Yes.
If we like it, maybe we'll do it. So you came to Florida.
Yeah.
And I showed you the warehouse. I showed you my little office in my living room. I showed you the operation. We took you to some jobs. I remember you saw some really happy customers. Nikki Wingfield, I remember.
Exactly
I remember. Sorry for the last name, Nikki.
Thanks for being a value
So,
customer.
like, I showed you the business and what was going on. And then I think it was like a Friday night or a Saturday night, and we went out to the bar.
I forget about this all the time. Okay.
and keep in mind, dude, you're my friend from my fucked up past where I was doing fucked up shit all the time.
Right.
And now I got my shit together. Now I'm a business owner. I'm Mr. Responsible. I would have some drinks here and there. I wasn't like a 100% sober guy, but I go to the bar with you. We have some drinks. We go back to my house. And honestly, I can't blame you because I had the mushrooms.
There's no one to blame.
I had the mushrooms in my closet.
Viciously out of control.
So, like, it's not like you came over and that got me to do drugs again. Like, I had the mushrooms. I remember. I bought them. I had the opportunity to buy some. I'm like, who knows when I want to do mushrooms? I'll get them.
All right, it's on you for buying way too many fucking
And I was
mushrooms,
going to say. It was an absurd amount of mushrooms.
Yeah.
The exact amount, I don't know. But we get back from the bar. It was like 12:30. It wasn't that late. I was like, you want to do mushroom soup? And you were like, of course.
Yeah, what I said was, yeah, let's eat a gram or two and laugh a little. So we ate a gram or two. We put a concert on. And the bag's on the table. I was like, fuck it, dude. Give me another little one. Cut to. We
forgot. We
Yeah.
forgot how many we ate.
Yes.
We were all fucked up. And I was like, did we just have another one or no?
You, in the morning, were like, I think I had an ounce in eighths. I was like, and what do you have left? You were like, I have an eighth. I went, we ate 7/8 of
Well,
mushrooms.
I do remember when I bought them for 8 because it was a big group of us that was willing to do it together at a friend's house. So I bought them with a group of 8.
So we had 2 people split an 8-person serving of mushrooms.
Yeah, and it was absurd.
It was the worst thing ever. It was the worst thing ever. I was absolutely fine, having the best time. And on the last maybe 2 or 3 mouthfuls, I'm like, these are starting to taste like I don't want them anymore. And then I took a shift for the worse, and I was like, I'm going to be sick.
Dude, when you started throwing up, I was hiding in my kitchen like this.
Oh, dude, the funniest part was, my head was fine. Like, I think for the most part, people would freak the fuck out if you were on as many mushrooms as we were, and you started getting very sick. But I was fine. Like, my head was just tripping out, but my stomach was rejecting mushrooms. And every time I would walk out of the bathroom, you would pop your head around the corner and go,
Are you okay?
You okay now? And I would go, give me a couple minutes. And then I'd go in and get sick again and come out and you go, you okay now? And like the 3rd or 4th time, I was like, don't fucking ask me again.
Dude, I remember I was so concerned for you. I was like hiding in the kitchen, like, I hope he's all right. I hope he's all right. And then, dude, I remember it was finally time.
You good, dude? You good, dude?
You laid down on the couch. You're like, I'm done with this. And I went in my room and I got into the covers. And when I threw the covers over my head, it instantly felt like I was in like this giant teepee.
Dude, the craziest thing was in the throes of all that throwing up and shit, I felt like I was looking out of a fishbowl. Like everything was glossy and
because
bubbly.
all your eyes get watery.
My eyes are watery. And then I would lay on the couch and close my eyes and everything would be normal. And I'd be like, this is fine. And then you would talk and I'd be like, and open my eyes and I'd be back in the fishbowl. I'd be like, you gotta stop fucking talking to me, dude.
Well, what I wanted to say about all that, the fact that we had that night when you were coming down here to see if we were going to work together and you were going to move your whole family down here for us to work together. When you left, I'm like, dude, are we just going to get fucked up again? What was that?
Dude, what you didn't realize is that was Dad's first night off in like 18 months.
Yeah, part of me knew that. But I was like, it did make me think. Like, I'm like, is this a good idea? Like, and I'm like, nah, dude, he loves his kids. He has his family.
Yeah.
He just got a little wild on the night. Point of view, though,
Yes,
right?
100%.
Yeah,
but
like
just
friends
so-
from the past, and then that happened. But then I also knew, I was like, dude, they were your mushrooms. You were the one that asked them if you wanted
Just
them.
so we're clear, I came home and told that story, and my buddies were like, you sure you want to go down there and work with this fucking guy?
That's what I'm saying.
He's eating fucking 10 grams of mushrooms on a Saturday. I was like, yeah, I don't think it was like that. I feel like I participated a lot.
Yeah, so it was the same.
Somebody asked me if they thought you fed me the mushrooms and tried to like give me this vision of grandeur of what it could be like. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's still going to take a lot of work. I was like, I think we both just got fucked up. But yeah, that's a fair point. I haven't seen you in 10 years. Let me see if I can get you as high as you can get.
It's just interesting that that's how it went.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a serious trip to see if you liked the city, and then that happened. You know?
Yeah, my flight was the next day, and I could not get out of Florida fast enough. I actually had to shake that little dance with the devil we had before I could like think clearly on coming. That fucked me up a little bit, dude. I went through hell that night. Like, it wasn't like bad or scary or anything like made my head freak out, but I was just like, what the fuck? That might be a sign. You know, you went down there and just got so sick for 5 hours. But here we are. We made it.
Yeah, you still came.
We're making it, I guess.
You still came.
Yeah.
And it's way different now, you know?
That's the other fucking part,
Mm-hmm.
is it's way different now. It's way better now.
It's going to keep getting way, you know? It's just, it's a normal progression.
I thought for a year I made a mistake, and I suffered in silence because I didn't want my wife or my kids or anybody to know that I thought I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I was working. We were working. You were working. You still do all the time. But I was working a lot. Took a long time to get from everywhere from where I was living, and I was just like, dude, I was working like 40 hours cushy and making good money. I had my house. I was set up. I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
But then in the last year, it's like we're turning over to the point where I'm like, okay, thank God. Okay.
Dude, you didn't enter like an established, like I definitely built the foundation correctly, but like it was still early.
We were seat of the pants for a long time.
Yeah, it was still early.
Mm-hmm.
Still early.
You
know, there was no organization, there was no material runners, there was no systems.
When I came down here, I was talking to my old boss, not Joe, Nick. And he's like, whatever, dude. He's like, number 2 is a good thing to be. He's like, but you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer 5 years or more. And I talked to him like 3 months ago. He's like, motherfucker, I thought it would take you at least 5 years. Yeah. I was like, we still.
Well, I remember something you said about him that I thought that's what you were about to say, but you didn't. Mm-hmm. You were like, well, if he built it right, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I remember you said that. And I'm like, I fucking built it right. That's what I was thinking when you
said
that.
And that's how both of them are. Like, I learned a lot from the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We should see if we can get Joe up here and sit down and talk about what it's been like. He built an enormous company, sold it to itself.
Mm-hmm.
He's retired, partially.
We're going to pass him, though.
Yeah, 100%. Soon.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking so proud.
I'd love to have him in here.
Yeah, we should definitely get him on. He's the fucking goat. It appears that our podcast is too hot to handle. The camera.
You're such a faggot!
Is the camera overheated? Spin all this flame. So with that said, pick up a fucking hammer, learn a trade. We'll see you next time.
To be honest, we were supposed to. This is called the Trade Up Podcast because the point of the podcast is to promote. Too much
Dumbass.
Too much tequila. The point of the podcast is to promote blue-collar entrepreneurship, and we didn't do any of that today, but I promise we will.
Yeah, we've been friends our whole lives, so sitting down and talking about anything other than work doesn't happen a lot. So, we will talk more about it next week and every week in the future.
100%.
And we're going to keep going with these stories of fuckery for sure, too.
Fuckery. I like it. Fuckery. See you next time.
See you next time.